Hey YouTube! Today I'll be making fettuccine Alfredo, my version, non-traditional at all. I'll be making big portions because today we have like a work competition. I'll be making fettuccine Alfredo for about 15 to 20 people. So my portions are going to be slightly bigger, but of course at home if you want to try this recipe, you can make smaller portions. You basically just have to try and adjust. So the ingredients I'll be needing in non-chronological order. I have some butter. It's probably about like 50 grams, 50 to 75 grams. I'm going to be using onion, finely chopped. I'll be using bacon. That's the special ingredient. Chicken. This is about 12 chicken breasts, and that's about 400 grams of bacon. I have 3 egg yolks. I have some cream. This is 1 liter of cream. Again, because it's for a big number of people. Also, this recipe is not for people who are trying to eat healthy. This is like the one cheat meal you have like once in a while because it's just full of calories and fats and whatnot. Some spices. Barbecue and chicken is the one I'm choosing to use, just for a mild spicy flavor on the chicken and bacon. My favorite condiment, thyme. I'll be using some Parmesan cheese. This one I got from Pick and Pay. It's already kind of grated down, so I'll just be adding it to the sauce. And then I have some Gouda, some cheddar, and some mozzarella cheese as well. The measurements I'm not so sure about, but this is the packet I use. This one I also got from Pick and Pay. It's the Parmalat brand. 400 grams of cheddar. I used 200 grams of Gouda, and then I also used the mozzarella. It came in a small packet. So yeah, I'll also be using white wine, just a cup. I also have my, it's supposed to be fettuccine, but I feel like this one does the job as well. Also got from Pick and Pay. I'll be using some black pepper. I'll be using some salt. And of course, I have olive oil and canola oil. So first, what we're going to do is fry our bacon and chicken. You'll get to see why I'm doing this at the end. Also, this is just my own special method. It's in no way related to the... So I'm going to see my oil is like really hot. Then you want to add your bacon first. So I'll put in the bacon. So you kind of let the bacon sizzle to a nice brownish, not crispy texture. Also have to add in your chicken. It's a lot of chicken. We're going to add a bit of salt. Please remember, just lightly season because bacon is salty, cheese is salty. You don't want too much salinity in the food. So this is my chicken spice. And this is my barbecue spice. Not very good at measurements, but you know, we're Africans. We kind of estimate these things. So this is the bacon and chicken, lightly fried. We set that aside for now. Next step. Some olive oil. Into the pan. And our butter. I'm also going to add a teeny bit of chopped garlic for that flavor profile. stir that in nicely. So the purpose of the butter and olive oil is you don't want the oil to burn out. That kind of gives you that burnt taste when you add your onions. So the butter is supposed to kind of mellow that down. All the butter is nicely melted. If you're in this kitchen right now, you would smell just the amazing aroma that's coming from here. And then our onions. There you go. And stir that in. You stir that in until the onions are sauteed, not crispy burnt, just translucent. Again, lightly add some salt, some pepper, stir it in. Fat Bastard Sauvignon Blanc. Love this one, but you can use any white wine really. It's not about the brand or whatever. It's more about the alcohol type of taste. Of course, we're going to burn it out, so you won't be tasting most of it. I'm going to add, let's just say about a cup. And I'm going to let that burn. So decent onions. So next step is the cream. Normally I just put one, but remember I'm doing this for like 15 to 20 people, so I'm going to put like the whole liter in. Not for people watching their weight. This is a very creamy, cheesy dish. So you put in all the cream. So this has been 10 minutes. It's a bit on the hot side, so I'm going to reduce the heat a bit. I just need it to be warm, but not hot, because I'm about to add in the egg. The reason I'm adding in the egg yolk is because this is a bit loose, as you can see. It's kind of too much of a porry texture. So the egg is basically to thicken this. It's an optional thing. So if you're allergic to eggs, you can relax and not put it in. And then I need to put it in gradually, slowly. I'm going to take this off the heat a bit. See, it's bubbling. I don't want the bubbling. I'm going to take this off the heat a bit. And then I'm going to gradually add in my egg while stirring. There you go. So you don't want the egg to cook before you stir. There we go. This will just help to thicken up the sauce. There we go. And then I'm going to move it back to the heat. So while we're cooking that, let's get ready to make the pasta. So you want to make the pasta right before you put everything together, because it tends to absorb more flavor like that. And I have some water boiling here. Well, you bring your water to the boil. So there's that debate whether or not you add salt and oil. I would advise that you add salt a little bit. For the oil, they say the pasta absorbs more of the sauce if you don't add oil, because if you add oil, it kind of just slides off. That's the proper Italian way. But as skeptics who don't want our pasta to stick together, we do add oil. So while this is going, I think we're pretty good to start adding the cheese. Remember the cheese that we had, I had Parmesan. I had 2 packets, so for this I'm going to put in, there we go. Parmesan first. Well, the order doesn't matter, I think. You use any cheeses of your choice. Usually I use Parmesan, cheddar, Gouda, depending on what I find in the shop. But these are also the types of cheeses that I like. You put that in, and then I'm going to add about half of that cheese mix that I had earlier, the Gouda and the mozzarella. This is about half the portion. And I'm going to save the other half for the later stage. Well, not half. I think I'm adding like 2/3, and I'm leaving 1/3 out. So you kind of want to stir that in until everything melts down. Look at that. It's got that onion, it's got that cheese, it's got that cream. It's giving me exactly what I'm looking for. Just nice. Like I said, you don't really need the oil. Actually, Italians will kill me for doing this. But hey. And we have our nice pasta from the supermarket. Dry pasta, not fresh pasta. I just feel like I still need practice in the fresh pasta department. My measuring is not very good. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to put in, but seeing as I have 15 to cook, I think I'll put in 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10. 9, 10. And basically these ones will loosen up as they absorb the water. So essentially I'm just stirring these together until they're like, pasta consistency. This is where we're at. I had to separate my sauce because this one was too full, and yet I still need to add some stuff. So I have 2 separate pots with the same sauce. I'll be focusing on just this one for instruction purposes. Otherwise, we have our sauce here. We have our pasta. It's pretty much ready here, still in the water. So we move on to the next steps. Okay, into my sauce. My sauce is nice and ready, nice and cheesy. I'm going to add in, remember this is the time it goes in. So you just put it in. Stir it in. So now, this is why I was like not too much salt, because now we have cheese, we have bacon. If you salt all that together, it would just be a salty mess. And then we stir that in. The good thing is our chicken and bacon is already cooked, so this is just for mixing purposes. Otherwise, everything is nice and ready. And then, following that, we try to add in our pasta. So it's also nice for you don't need to wash the pasta. We want the starch from the water when you put it in. So when you're pouring it into your sauce, you don't mind too much about the water, but I'm not saying pour all the water inside. You're basically just pouring the pasta only. Okay. And that too is kind of stirred in. So, this is my fettuccine Alfredo. You could serve it like this with a side of a vegetable. That's totally fine. But I like to move it just one step further. I will pour it into a baking dish with foil. I'm also doing this for the aesthetics of the competition. Pour it all into here. Remember the cheese that we set aside? I I'm just gonna put it over the dish. I got to preheat my oven. I'm gonna put it on grill. And remember the last Parmesan that we had? This is the time to add it in. I'm going to cover this with foil because I don't want the cheese to look crispy at the top. I just want it nice and melty. So when you put your fork in, it kind of just gives you that lift. So I've preheated my oven. I've covered this up with foil and it's going to go in just enough time for the cheese to melt. So I'm going to say 7 to 10 minutes. Remember the oven is on grill, so it's going to be very quick. So in it goes. Set the timer for like 10 minutes. And we wait. Okay, I'm all ready for work. Time to check on my fettuccine. So it's been in the oven for, I think, about 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. It smells wonderful. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. You can see the cheese is nicely melted. You see little flecks of the chicken, little flecks of the fettuccine. Looks a bit too yellow, so I'm going to add just a bit of something green to garnish. You can add anything of your choice. Parsley, basil. Just putting in some green pepper. Just to give it that nice color, really. But I'm happy, I'm really happy with the product. I hope it tastes as good as it looks. And I can't wait for everybody to try it.